Hello, fellow TV and film fanatics. I'm Greg, and I make recommendations for TV shows and movies that you can check out from the comfort of your own home. And September is stacked with tons of new shows and new seasons hitting all the big streaming services out there with action, adventure, adult animation, comedy, drama, and even some sci-fi things here to round it out. So, as always, stop mindlessly scrolling, stop wasting your time on bad shows. Let's jump in and check out this list.
Dream big. Live your life without regrets. And write love songs that change the world.
So first up on our list here is perfect for those of you looking for a drama to binge here in September, and this is Prime Video's The Runarounds. This one's dropping on the 1st from the mind of Jonas Pate. It's actually the creator behind Outer Banks, so you can probably assume it's going to have some sun-soaked coming-of-age energy in it, but this one actually has a real cool twist with rock and roll. And this series here follows a group of recent high school graduates in Wilmington, North Carolina, who spend one unforgettable summer forming a rock band and chasing their dreams of stardom. And along the way, they fall in love, get in trouble, and form bonds that feel more like family than friendship. And the twist in this one is that the band in this show is inspired by and stars the real-life bands The Runarounds. So when the performances hit the stage, they are 100% authentic. The cast in this one is that original band, but they are supported by some other familiar names like Brooklyn Decker, Maximo Salas, and Hayes MacArthur here. And Jonas Pate discovered the band while he was actually casting Outer Banks and was so inspired by their chemistry that he actually built this entire show around them. And yes, this is a teen drama, but it's from a proven creator, so if you loved the romance, drama, and friendship in the Outer Banks show, this is probably going to feel very familiar to you. I'm also excited to hear the authentic music and enjoy some relatable coming-of-age stories, from chasing dreams to falling in love and finding your place in the world. The only thing that I'd be a little bit concerned about this one is that the musicians are probably fantastic performers, but not sure if acting is going to be their main skill, so we'll have to see how that goes. But the bottom line in this one is that The Runarounds is shaping up to be a pretty cool and vibrant musical addition to your September binge list.
Rise and shine, sleepyhead.
All right, if you caught part 1 of Wednesday season 2 back in August, then you know exactly how wild things have gotten in this show. And now Netflix is dropping part 2 on September 3rd to finish out the highly anticipated season. And Jenna Ortega is back as Wednesday Addams in the season that has been bigger, darker, and full of shocking twists so far. And I'm not going to say much about the plot for those of you that did not watch part 1, but this one has been great, digging deeper into the Addams family dark history, confronting new mysteries at Nevermore, and it has been full of intrigue, horror, supernatural vibes that keep you coming back for more, but feels like they've cranked it up quite a bit. And the show does keep the OG cast that we've come to know. We've got Jenna Ortega, Catherine Zeta-Jones, Louis Guzman, Emma Myers, Joy Sunday, and now part 2 is adding even more star power with Gwendolyn Christie, Lady Gaga, Christopher Lloyd, Steve Buscemi, Billy Piper, and a ton of others added to this cast here. And one thing that I've really enjoyed about this season is how it somewhat evolved from that classic teen horror meets supernatural mystery to a little bit of a darker tone here, leaning into some pure psychological horror elements and even genuine supernatural thrills too. So if you're into dark, spooky, and twisted teen drama with big laughs, even some scares, and the Addams family at full throttle, then Wednesday season 2 part 2 is certainly going to be worth catching here in September.
How many of you have actually written for a paper before?
I wrote a paper in junior high.
Not quite the same thing.
I've tweeted.
You've tweeted?
I'm in a group text.
This is terrific.
Next up is an option that is here for all of you who have loved The Office for so long. So get ready for a new show that basically is a love letter to the mockumentary format. And this is The Paper on September 4th. And this is from the mind of Greg Daniels, the genius behind The Office, Parks and Recreation. And this series brings us a new group of quirky characters that are set in the same universe. And yet the documentary crew that filmed Dunder Mifflin is back for this one. And now they're chronicling the life of the Toledo Truth Teller, which is this struggling local newspaper. And the Toledo Truth Teller is in rough shape, to be honest. The publisher has fired all the professional journalists, leaving new editor-in-chief Ned Sampson, played by Domhnall Gleeson, to manage a ragtag group of enthusiastic but completely clueless volunteer reporters. And the cast itself includes Domhnall Gleeson, Sabrina Impastator, Tim Key, Chelsea Frey, Melvin Gregg, Alex Edelman, and a ton of others. And for the ultimate Office fan bonus here, you do get Oscar Nunez returning as Oscar Martinez in this one. And again, it's great to see Greg Daniels at the helm of this one. If you know The Office, you know this is a huge deal, so you can expect cringe comedy, awkward moments, and unexpected heart throughout the entirety of this series, and it is in a shared universe, so it'll probably be filled with tons of Easter eggs beyond just Oscar Martinez being here. And then it's a fresh take on a mockumentary. This local journalism may not sound glamorous, but watching a hopelessly incompetent team try to save a dying newspaper is pretty much comedy gold. And if you want to jump right into this one and get the feel of it right from the start, Peacock's actually dropping the first 4 episodes on day 1 and then 2 new episodes every Thursday all the way through September 25th. So you can pretty much binge this one on a weekly basis. Now, I will say that this certainly has a high bar to meet with this one. Following The Office is, well, intimidating. And I'm going to say this right from the start, without a doubt, that not everyone's going to be satisfied with this one, but it will have that familiar humor, the cringe and awkwardness that fans love. But if you're like me and you love The Office, or you're into that cringe comedy with heart, the paper looks to be an easy one to pick up with funny and fresh spins on a familiar format. Definitely worth adding to your watch list.
It's easy to talk about forgiveness and mercy. It's not your loss.
Next up on our list here is a tense, character-driven crime drama series that's releasing on September 7th on HBO, and this is Task. And this one comes from Brad Inglesby, the Emmy Award-winning creator of Mare of Easton. This 7-episode limited series promises a dark, gripping story that will keep you on the edge of your couch. And it's set in the gritty, working-class suburbs of Philadelphia, which is the same hauntingly realistic world of Mare of Easttown. The series follows Tom, played by Mark Ruffalo, who is a badly damaged FBI agent and a former priest who is put in charge of a task force investigating a string of violent robberies. And the main suspect in this one is a sanitation worker with a seemingly normal family whose desperate desire to provide for his family has pushed him into a life of crime. And from what I've read, this isn't your typical whodunit series. From the start, you know who committed the crimes, which makes the tension less about guessing who and more about the gripping whys, the hows, and when or if they will get caught. And the series explores moral conflicts, family loyalty, and personal demons on both sides of the law here, and it looks like it's going to give us a tense, character-driven face-off between the two characters. Again, the cast includes Mark Ruffalo, you've got Tom Pelphrey, Amelia Jones, Jamie McShane, and a few other familiar faces here on this list. So overall, it's a pretty powerhouse ensemble with tons of star power that will for sure give us some incredible performances. And with Ingleby's past success with Mare of Easttown, I am expecting the same level of gritty storytelling and emotional depth here in this one, with heavy, intense moments that explore themes of moral ambiguity, family struggles, and just loss in general. And the Philly suburb settings are perfect for this gritty, realistic crime drama series with this intense cat and mouse tension that will probably live within the series. And I will say it's a contained limited series with 7 episodes, which means it's probably going to provide us with this satisfying story arc with a beginning, middle, and end with hopefully no lingering cliffhangers to frustrate us. So if you're in the mood for a dark, gritty, emotionally charged crime drama with some amazing cast members, Task is definitely one to keep on your radar here in September.
So where'd all the people go?
You're looking at him. Come here.
Let's move forward and talk about one of my favorite TV franchises ever. And if you're a fan of The Walking Dead like me, the return of The Walking Dead Daryl Dixon with its 3rd season on the 7th is a sight for sore eyes. This spinoff takes everyone's favorite lone wolf character, Daryl Dixon, played by Norman Reedus, and throws him into a completely new world over in France. And this series has left us with Daryl washed ashore in France with no memory of how he got there. And as he's journeyed across the country, he has formed unlikely bonds, including a young boy who may hold the key to humanity's survival. And what I've really loved in this show is watching Daryl and Carol, who are 2 of the most beloved characters in this franchise, and their dynamic come back together, which really drives the emotional core of this show. So seeing them back together in this new setting is a huge draw for anyone interested in the Walking Dead franchise. And Norman Reedus and Melissa McBride have been living these roles for literally a decade, bringing nuance, depth, and authenticity to really every scene that they're in together. And it is a fresh setting and tone, moving the apocalypse to France, giving this show a new visual style. The eerie streets of Paris and the haunting French countryside make for a stunning yet eerie atmospheric backdrop. And I have really liked how this one is a little bit more of a contained, focused series. Unlike the sprawling landscape that the main series became, this spinoff keeps the story much tighter, focusing on character development and the smaller, more manageable cast, which has really reminded me of the old days of The Walking Dead. And I know I said it's a standalone story in many ways, and it still does expand The Walking Dead's overall universe, exploring international communities and new Walker variants that keeps the franchise feeling fresh. So if you're looking for a fresh take on the zombie apocalypse, a stunning new setting to go to, or just hanging out with the fan favorite duo of Carol and Daryl, this spin-off should probably be at the top of your list here in September.
Guys, the police report just came in.
A guy fills a fountain with blood in the most murderous building in New York. They say it's accidental.
Our next title here is the returning series with tons of seasons to binge at this point, and it's coming back for its 5th season, and this is Hulu's Only Murders in the Building that's coming September 9th. And everything that I've read about this one says it's going to be bigger, funnier, and even more star-studded than it's ever been before. And season 5 looks to pick up where this show typically picks up with a shocking death, and we see Charles, Oliver, and Mabel, who are now seasoned podcasters and amateur detectives, being thrown into yet another high-stakes investigation. And this time, the mystery plunges them deep into New York City's elite, where billionaires, old school mobsters, and dangerous secrets lurks behind the historic building's charming facade. And while chasing clues, the trio also continues to navigate their own personal lives, their backstories and relationships, balancing comedy, danger, and heartfelt moments. And yes, the classic mix of slapstick humor, cozy mystery, and emotional drama is all here too. And the main cast in this one is Steve Martin, Martin Short, and Selena Gomez. So talk about an already star-studded cast here, but we'll also get returning guest stars like Meryl Streep, and then newcomers like Renee Zellweger, Christopher Waltz, Logan Lerman, Keegan-Michael Key, and plenty of others joining the mix. So it's safe to say that this series is stacked with talent, and this show has thrived up to this point on its clever, contained whodunit format, with each season's mystery being fresh, allowing you to solve it alongside the trio. And this trio honestly has some amazing and almost unmatched on-screen dynamic. They have witty banter, generational contrasts that are hilarious, and then just genuine affection for one another that keeps you coming back for more. But if you're looking for something hardcore, this is probably not the option for you. In this one, the mysteries can feel a little bit predictable and sometimes gimmicky, and the stakes always feel very low. The trio is rarely in any real danger. But if you like smart, funny, and heartwarming mysteries with a killer cast, Only Murders in the Building Season 5 looks to be an awesome addition here in September. So what do we do now?
Do I have to meet the parents?
Let's move forward and talk about a brand new psychological thriller on Prime Video this September, and this is The Girlfriend on September 10th. And this is a 6-episode limited series following Laura, played by Robin Wright, who is a woman with what seems like a perfect life. She has a successful career, a close bond with her son, Daniel, but when Daniel brings home his new girlfriend, Cherry, played by Olivia Cooke, Laura's world starts to unravel. And Laura becomes convinced that Cherry is manipulative and hiding something where everyone else, including Daniel himself, sees nothing wrong. And the story turns into a tense game of cat and mouse between these two, exploring central questions like, is Cherry truly dangerous, or is Laura just a paranoid, overly possessive mother? And I love Olivia Cooke in this type of role. I know from her days on House of the Dragon, she can play this very subtle, manipulative character that can really get under your skin. So we'll have to see what really turns out in this show, but I in general love slow-burning psychological thrillers like this, where tension builds steadily throughout the series, and it looks like we're going to see Laura and Cherry's conflict escalate, making every scene feel unpredictable with tons of tension. But one of the best things about this one here on Prime is that all 6 episodes are dropping at once, so it is going to be perfect for a full day binge or weekend, whatever you have available, where you can try to untangle the mystery all in one sitting, or like I said, even a weekend. So if you're into twisty, character-driven psychological thrillers with some star power and binge potential, The Girlfriend is a perfect choice to check out here in September.
Our client wants you to be your bodyguard, but keep it a secret.
What does that mean?
Widow of a South Korean politician named Moon Joo-sol.
My 8th pick on our list here today is for all you K-drama fans and spy thriller lovers, and this is Tempest, dropping on Disney Plus and Hulu on September 10th. And Tempest looks to be a South Korean miniseries full of high-stakes espionage and romance packed in with action and intrigue. And the series follows Seo Moon-joo, who is a brilliant diplomat and former UN ambassador who becomes embroiled in a conspiracy after an assassination attempt on a presidential candidate. And to uncover the truth, she partners with a mysterious former mercenary with a secretive past, and together they navigate a dangerous political web that spans South and North Korea, all while slow-burning romantic tension develops between them. And I'm not personally up on my Korean stars, so I don't know this for fact, but from what I've read, this is a star-studded cast filled with tons of A-listers from Korea. And then behind the scenes, it's said to have a very high-profile creative team as well, with acclaimed writers, directors behind the scenes. So we can assume that the quality is going to be there, but for me, I'm in it for the political intrigue, the assassination attempts, and the conspiracies that could shake the Korean peninsula. So I'm a fan of shows like Homeland or the Bourne series, so I'm thinking I'm going to feel right at home with this one. But a lot of what I've read said that there is going to be some captivating spy romance in this as well, with tension between the two characters that adds depth to all the action that we're going to have, creating an interesting and intense dynamic that you won't be able to look away from. So as long as they can avoid some of the spy and espionage plot tropes that can maybe feel predictable at times, I'm excited to see this stylish, action-packed K-drama with political intrigue and what seems to be a star-studded cast. So Tempest, definitely one to keep your eye on here in September.
I'm not any chosen one. Chosen ones are like Harry Potter, Neo, fucking Frodo.
Next up is one of my top picks going into September here, and this is straight from the Boys universe, where we get Gen V Season 2. That's dropping on Prime Video on the 17th. And if you know anything about the universe that this is from, you know that this one is going to be crazy and over the top. This is a spinoff that dives deep into the chaotic world of Godalkin University, where the next generation of superheroes learns that being supes isn't just about powers, it's actually about celebrity, politics, and tons of moral compromises. And Season 2 is set to pick up right after the shocking finale of Season 1, which blurred the lines between superheroes and villains, and we find Kate and Sam, who are now being celebrated as the guardians of Godalkin, while Marie and Emma and Jordan are painted as the villain. And another secret program tied to the school's founding promises for more high-stakes danger than ever. But I'm excited to see plenty of bad decisions, college drama turned into deadly serious conflicts, and the direct crossovers with the Boys main series, with characters like Starlight, The Deep, and Black Noir, who are all set to appear in this one. But if you're a fan of the Boys, you're definitely going to enjoy this one. This series provides you with all the same action, mature moments, and absolute ridiculousness that you're familiar with. And this season is set to explore the fallout of the first season and Homelander's chaos in the main show. So if you're invested in it, this is pretty much going to be required viewing. And with a new big bad and a new mystery and all kinds of flipped alliances in this one, it's going to be cool to see how things come together. But you can be sure that you're going to get the sharp, hilarious critique of corporatism, celebrity culture, and the cult of social media, all through the bloody superhero lens of this universe. So if dark satire, morally complex characters, and over-the-top action interest you at all, check out Gen V Season 2. It's definitely a must-watch here in September.
Should've fucking told you. I know.
Said to my face you'd squared it.
I thought I could pay these guys back at a sure thing.
If you're in the mood for a high-stakes crime thriller with major star power, then check out Black Rabbit, that's hitting Netflix on September 18th. This is an 8-episode limited series that is dropping all episodes on day one, making it perfect for a full weekend binge. And it's set against the intense nightlife of New York City, where Black Rabbit follows two estranged brothers, Jake and Vince, whose complicated history comes roaring back to life. And you see Jake, who's played by Jude Law, has built a successful VIP lounge, which is a symbol of his redemption after a past riddled with addiction. And then Vince, played by Jason Bateman, who is the troubled brother drowning in gambling debt, returning unexpectedly to bring danger, old wounds, and new threats that could destroy everything that Jake's built. And if that there doesn't already tell you, I will say this is a character-driven drama about family, loyalty, and the lengths that people will go to protect their own. And this narrative looks like it's going to mix together crime, tension, betrayal, all with the emotional weight of brotherhood. So you can expect dark twists, again, moral ambiguity, and the constant sense that one wrong move could bring everything crashing down. Huge star power in this one. Jason Bateman, Jude Law, who are bringing serious credibility and on-screen chemistry as these estranged brothers here. Anytime that big movie stars like these guys come into a series like this, it always piques my interest to see how things are going to go, because they could really go into any show or movie that they pretty much want to at this point. So to pick this definitely shows some credibility in my mind. And Bateman not only stars in this one here, but he also directs and executive produces this one. So the show does promise some strong visuals, I'm sure some deep character work with a cinematic quality to it. And this is another one where it doesn't look like it's a hefty commitment if you want to jump into it. It's only an 8-episode limited series. Hopefully it'll have a very definitive conclusion. But if you like character-driven crime thrillers with star power and a cinematic feel, Black Rabbit looks like a really intriguing option here in September.
God, you don't remember me? Abaddon from Hell.
Oh, right. Abaddon. How's it going, man?
Up next is our one and only adult animation option here on our list today, and this looks to be the darkly funny, weird, and completely off-the-wall option Haunted Hotel on Netflix on September 19th. And this one here looks to blend horror, family drama, and some absurd, ridiculous, over-the-top humor. It's kind of like a Rick and Morty meets Haunted House with a twist. And the series itself follows Catherine, who is a single mother of two who unexpectedly inherits a hotel called the Undervale. The catch, it's fully haunted, and her estranged brother Nathan is now one of the ghosts, and it looks like a lot of the humor in this one's going to come from the constant clash between Catherine's attempts to run this functional hotel and the chaotic, absurd antics of the ghostly staff that's around the property, and then Nathan, who's stuck in the middle. It looks like this weird combination of a show that explores dysfunctional family dynamics across living and the dead, and then which is probably going to result in some hilarious, twisted, and surprisingly heartwarming animated adventures. And the voice cast in this one includes Eliza Coupe, Will Forte, Skylar Gazzando, Jimmy Simpson, and a ton of other familiar names here that you probably recognize. But honestly, what's even more exciting about this one here is it's from the minds behind Rick and Morty itself. So you can expect this creative team to bring smart, witty writing and dark comedic edge to the show with absurd, humorous moments. I'm expecting some grotesque, ridiculous, and clever humor that pushes boundaries that adult animation tends to do. And as another added bonus, this is another one where Netflix will drop all of it at the same time, so you can jump in and binge it right away. But if you enjoyed weird, darkly funny animation series like Rick and Morty, Haunted Hotel is a perfect pick for you here in September.
If you think you're going to take me out, it's going to be really difficult.
So if crime dramas are your thing, then Tulsa King Season 3 here is one of the bigger returning shows that you can mark in your calendar here in September. It does premiere on Paramount on Sunday, September 21st, and is back with Sylvester Stallone leading the charge as Dwight the General Manfredi. And this is Stallone's first ever starring role in a scripted TV series. He's honestly been great in this series so far. He has brought all the charm, humor, and old school mobster charisma that you could want in this type of role. And Season 3 looks like it's picking up immediately after a pretty intense cliffhanger in Season 2, where Dwight and his crew are fighting to protect everything that they've built. And his criminal empire in Tulsa is growing, complete with cannabis, car dealerships, and so many others, but that includes a lot of enemies as well. And Season 3 is said to follow the day-to-day operations of Dwight's crew, balancing humor, tension, and action between the rival gangs and the law. And one really cool element that I'm excited about in this season here is that we're getting a crossover that includes Samuel L. Jackson playing an old prison friend of Dwight that's going to lead to a new spin-off called Tulsa King, where Jackson's going to star in. And I've said this before when I've talked about this show, I really enjoyed it. I thought Sylvester Stallone was great. I actually really thought he was funnier than I anticipated with this fish out of water premise that he gets to explore. Watching him navigate Tulsa's laid-back culture creates constant comedic moments as he's this big city mobster. But if you're a fan of action, crime drama, and Stallone's iconic charisma, this is definitely something worth checking out here in September for yourself.
Jackson Lamb, you're in charge of the rejects.
I don't like being called that.
What do you call them?
The rejects.
Another one of my favorites on our list here today is the gritty, character-driven spy thriller Slow Horses, where we get Season 5 here in September on Apple TV Plus on the 24th. And this here is a critically acclaimed series and has become one of the best espionage dramas on television, in my opinion. And Season 5 is said to adapt Mick Herron's London Rules book, which is the 5th book in the Slow Horses series, and picks up right where Season 4 left off, where we find the slow horses who are now again embroiled in a high-stakes mission. And this time it's triggered by a seemingly harmless event, but of course things are never that simple in this show, where we find a string of bizarre events and random terrorist attacks across London, forcing the Slow Horse agents to piece together a dangerous puzzle, all while navigating the political turmoil and power struggles within MI5. And I've recommended Slow Horses before, and I want to make sure that I echo this, but Gary Oldman is amazing in this show. He really, really is. Jack Lamb is one of the most unique characters on TV. He's crude, yet brilliant, yet loyal, yet hilarious, all in one. And honestly, it's worth checking out this show for Oldman's performance alone. But if that's not enough for you, I will say that there's always cool high-stakes mysteries in this one that weave together seemingly minor events suspense into these suspenseful citywide plots that keep you guessing really all the way to the end. And it's a gritty and realistic espionage show. It's not this over-the-top James Bond type series. It's grounded, it's darkly funny, and it's refreshingly realistic at times. And honestly, with a 95% Rotten Tomatoes rating, you don't have to take it just from me. It's definitely worth checking out for yourself.
Sing about for ages.
Up next is a perfect option for somebody looking for a darker, bloodier, and more unique take on the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and this is Marvel Zombies that we're getting on September 24th. And this is a 4-episode animated horror miniseries that drops on Disney Plus, and it's spinning the MCU into a full-blown zombie apocalypse. And the series picks up directly after the What If episode, What If Zombies, plunging us into an alternate universe where zombie viruses have infected Earth's mightiest hero. And the story focuses on the last human survivors, which includes Kate Bishop, Yelena Belova, and Jimmy Woo, as they fight to survive against a horde of zombified supervillains, including a terrifying zombie Scarlet Witch with a nearly unstoppable zombie Thanos, wielding an almost complete Infinity Gauntlet. And from what I've read, the show is said to be a faithful adaptation of the Marvel zombie comic books, known for their dark, gory, and shocking take on superheroes. And this one does come with a TVMA rating, so this is not going to be a sit down and watch with your kids type show. It's probably going to be pretty intense and unapologetically violent. And the voice cast here is actually loaded with the MCU stars reprising their roles here. You have Haley Steinfeld, Florence Pugh, Elizabeth Olsen, Paul Rudd, Simu Liu, and Tessa Thompson as Valkyrie in this one. So this one does have a pretty stacked cast, and I'm excited to check this one out. I really like the zombie twist on the MCU, seeing classic Marvel characters thrown into a horror scenario, blending the action, humor, and of course, adventure has worked really well before, and perfect for fans that are craving more intense moments in Marvel storytelling. And I've really enjoyed other Marvel horror type shows and movies like Werewolf by Night, the obviously What If episode, things like Blade, of course. So this looks to be a fast, gory, and action-packed horror twist on the MCU, which will be perfect for fans who want something edgy, bingeable, and utterly different this September.
君もいずれ全てを思い出す。
Next up is a mind-bending thriller series with high-stakes action, and this is Alice in Borderland Season 3 that is coming to Netflix on September 25th. And in Season 3, our main characters have seemingly returned to the real world and are enjoying a happy life together until Yuzuha mysteriously vanishes, and now Ryohei must re-enter the Borderland to find and save her. And this show so far has been a sci-fi, psychological horror, and emotional drama all rolled up into one, which has pushed this series beyond its manga origins and into bold new territories at this point. And honestly, the key elements of this one that have made it great so far is one, the mind-bending mysteries. Obviously, what is the Borderland and who controls this game? And then you have the high-stakes visceral action that comes with it, with brutal games, shocking deaths, and a bigger scale of action that has made this series as intense as ever. And like I said, with the show taking a new direction with more elaborate games, some new characters, and bold storytelling beyond the manga, it's definitely interesting to see what they're going to do with things. So if you've been on the ride this long, this one is shaping up to be one of the more thrilling and binge-worthy returns here in September. If you love sci-fi, high-stakes games, and psychological twists, this is definitely a series you don't want to miss. And that's going to do it for our list here, everybody. Thanks for hanging out with us all the way to the end. Take a second to do all the YouTube stuff, like, comment, subscribe, share. It really helps us get our recommendations out to others looking for great TV shows that they can check out from the comfort of their own home. But thanks again, and we'll see you in the next one.